This is my plethora of bacon grease. So I've been saving bacon grease. It's been in the refrigerator. And it's time for me to purify this bacon grease and make it into some clean lard so that I can use it for different applications. I use a lot of bacon. Every time I cook bacon, I come out with something like this. And this is a pan of bacon grease. And so I've been saving up all this bacon grease, but now I want to clean it and purify it and get out all of if it's got any kind of impurities in it. I want to go ahead and process this. And I am going to use a water method that I heard about from Neah at Neah's Way. So we're going to put this in the crock pot. We're going to add a little bit of purified water, and then we're going to just cook it in the crock pot on high for a couple of hours. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We've got about 4 or 5 jars of bacon grease. So I'm just going ahead and adding all of that into the crock pot. I'm adding about 16 ounces of water and then putting this to cook on high. All right, so that is going to cook on high for a couple of hours. Then we'll strain it and put it in the refrigerator so that it can separate. So I added about 16 ounces of filtered water to this boatload of bacon grease. And I still have a couple of jars left. So I will be doing another round of this once I get done with this one, and we'll get this in the refrigerator to wait till tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm getting ready to strain this first batch of bacon grease. So I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. I'm gonna strain it into this bowl over here through a paper towel. I decided that it would be better to strain this through a tea towel because the paper towel was a little bit too flimsy. So I'm just taking all of this bacon grease and water and emptying it over into this bowl, letting it drain, and then we'll go to the next step. All right. So here is the big bowl of first purified bacon grease. We are going to let this cool down. We'll cover it and put it in the refrigerator overnight. I think it's gonna have to go through a second round of purification because I'm looking at the color and I'm like, okay, so we want this to get a little lighter in color. So we're gonna do it again tomorrow and see what happens. Alright, you guys, it's time for round 2. This is how the fat looks today. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out of the bowl. And it's very soft. I was expecting it to be more firm. Ooh. Let me see what I can do here. Scoop it out because it's really soft. I don't know if it's separated from the water. Let's just see. I'm scooping it out and then I'm putting it into this crock pot. So, I think I want to make a hole in it. Oh, let me show you guys. I'm gonna pour the water out. Let's just see. We'll pour the water out into this measuring cup. Oh, wow. Okay. Very interesting. So this actually works different than tallow. The tallow gets super firm. So I don't want to get all the stuff off the bottom. I'm gonna just scrape the top off. We'll leave all that stuff in the bottom. We won't take all the bottom stuff. So can't help but get a little bit of it, but what we're gonna do is scrape off as much of the cleansed lard as we can. And then we're gonna put this back through the process again. I'll show you guys what I have left in the bowl. I'm still getting a little bit of this unpurified portion of it, but that's okay. So this is what what's left in the bowl looks like. You can see this kind of the deposits here. The creamy part on top is, I mean, I don't want to take all of it because basically I don't want all the impurities basically that we went and cleared out. So this is going to be the trash. And then this right here is going to be the part that we're going to redo again. So I'm going to add some more water to this. This is super interesting. I can't wait to show Neah what's happening with this lard process. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some water to this. 16 ounces of water, purified water. All right, so I'm getting like filtered water out of my refrigerator, and I'm gonna add that to this. We'll put the top on it, and we're gonna let this go again. So yesterday this cooked for about probably about 4 hours. We'll see today, because it didn't really start to boil and purify until it took way longer than I expected. So we'll see how long this goes, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we are back, and this has been in the refrigerator. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. It looks pretty light at this point. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop this all back into the crock pot, and then we're gonna go ahead and see what we have on the bottom as far as impurities are concerned. So let me grab my crock pot insert. That will help us determine whether or not we're going to need another round of cleaning. So let me grab a spoon. Okay, so it's a little bit more firm. I've had it in the refrigerator for a few days, so let's see if I can cut it. Let's see if that will work this time. Yes. Okay. You can see the water coming up from the bottom. Go ahead and scoop this out. Ah, that's better. So sitting for a few days really made a difference. Looks pretty good on the bottom. I'll show you. I'm putting it in the crock pot because basically it's too soft to like put it on a plate or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right back in the crock pot. Looks pretty good, actually. I'll show you guys what it looks like before I put this last piece in. Okay, so you can see that there's a very slight little bit of impurities stuff still left on the top of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and scrape that off. It's such a small amount, but yet we're gonna go ahead and clean that off. We're gonna go ahead and get that last piece out. Again, it's just a very light layer of impurities on the top of that one. Let me show you what's left in the bottom of the bowl. So as you guys know, we added water to this bowl. And so this is what that water looks like. So 2 cleanings I think it really did the trick. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. This is gonna go back in the crock pot for a little bit so that it can completely melt, and then we'll put it in jars. I'm gonna filter it through a coffee filter. What I can tell you about this lard is that it still has a very slight smell. So because I'm not planning to use this for anything but cooking, I'm not gonna try to like go through another round of purification in order to try to get that scent out. But I think it would be really, doesn't have very strong scent, but I would say that if you really want to get that scent all the way out, you could go through a 3rd round of purification. So we'll come back when this is melted and we'll jar it up, and I'll show you guys what all that looks like. All right, you guys, we are getting down to the last parts of this process. This has been a multi-day, multi-step process. But we are now ready to start filling our container with this lard that we rendered down. I'm using a coffee filter to strain it. It should be pretty clean, purified, but just in case, we're gonna go ahead and strain it through a coffee filter. Well, all right, we have finally made it through the process of cleaning bacon fat. And this is how the product looks like once it's done. It's starting to cool off, so that's why it's looking a little cloudy. I'm gonna pop these in the refrigerator once they get cooled down a little bit. And then I'll come back tomorrow and show you what they look like. We'll see how clear they look, like what the color looks like, and how the smell is after they sit in the refrigerator overnight. So we're getting to the last step on this one, and we'll be back tomorrow to finish. All right, you guys, so I'm here to wrap up this video finally. This is my lard. So I took a lot of bacon grease. I had jars and jars of bacon grease, and I wanted to see, can I process that down? Can I render it down and then purify it and make my own lard out of all that bacon grease that I've been saving for like a year? So I took the bacon grease and I put it in my crock pot and I added water to it, okay? I cooked it for several hours and then I poured it into a bowl, popped it in the fridge, right? The first time I did that, my lard was very, very loose. Like, I only put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. When I came back, it was so soft. I was like scooping it off, trying to get the water from underneath. So, processed it again, put it back into the crock pot and added water, and then cooked it for a few hours and put it back in the refrigerator. That time I left it in the refrigerator for like 3 days. And by the time I got back to it, it was firm. So I was able to cut it out and then leave the water in the bowl. Finally, the last step was to take the lard, put it back into the crock pot and just melt it down so that I could put it into its containers. So I put that lard into these containers, glass jars. These are like mason jars or ball jars. And what can I say about this lard? It is, it still has a little bit of a bacon smell, but look how pure it is. So pure. When I poured it into the jar, I also strained it through a coffee filter, and then that way that, you know, kind of took care of the final level of processing. This is so nice, you guys. You can take that bacon grease that you've been saving, you can purify it, get out all of the dregs. I don't know, I call it dregs. That's what my grandmother used to call it, the dregs. All of the stuff that's at the bottom of there. Process it with water, and then take the lard off the top and remove the water. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I want to say thank you to Neah at Neah's Way. Her video is in the description box below. Try this method and let me know what you guys think. All right, we'll see you next time.